It's finished for Harry and Meghan. Their marriage cannot be fixed, and it has now clearly come to an end. You are watching UK Chronics, where we push past the noise to show you the raw and simple truth. The Sussex dream is now completely over, and the $100 million image they showed the world has broken down into a $38 million mess of debt and sadness. For many years, we were told they were building something huge and powerful. But today, the truth has been exposed by someone who used to be one of their closest media supporters. It is finished for Harry and Meghan. Their marriage has now ended in every way that truly matters. Think about the pictures and stories we have been shown. Private jets, huge Montecito homes, and deals worth millions with Netflix and Spotify. It all looked like a modern fairy tale of freedom, almost like a bold move against the British royal family. But now, based on shocking new claims from Dan Wakeford, a man who once strongly supported them at People magazine, the truth is very different. Their bank accounts are almost empty, and their life goals have moved so far apart that there is no way back together. This is not just a simple celebrity breakup. What we are seeing is both a money disaster and an emotional breakdown on a very large scale. People close to them are now confirming what many people quietly believed but were afraid to say out loud. The money that Prince Harry received from the late Princess Diana, which was meant to secure his future, is mostly gone. It has been spent on a lifestyle they could not truly afford, on legal fights they could not win, and on security that costs more than most top Hollywood stars make in a year. Their planned polo drama show has been cancelled. The Spotify deal turned out to be much smaller than the reported $20 million. Their Netflix work has slowed down as their professional life continues to shrink. Inside their California home, the stress has become too much to handle. Reports say they are deeply unhappy. They feel stuck between a world that no longer accepts them and a royal family that has moved forward without them. So how did everything go so wrong so quickly? How did one of the world's most talked about couples end up with a $38 million loss and no clear way to fix it? The answer comes from a series of very bad choices and a betrayal from someone close to them that is only now being revealed. And as we look deeper into this failing marriage, you will notice that the most shocking part is not just the money they lost. It is the secret plan that Prince Harry is now quietly working on behind closed doors. Let us take a closer look at the truth behind Sussex finances. Because the reality is much worse than the polished image shown by their public relations teams. For years, the media repeated the same huge numbers again and again. A $100 million deal with Netflix, a $20 million deal with Spotify. It sounded like they had endless money. But here is the simple and honest truth that is now coming out from deep inside the industry. Those numbers were greatly exaggerated, and the growing negative image around the couple has turned those deals into a financial disaster. Think of it like a house of cards built on hopes and what-if ideas. Industry insiders are now speaking up and explaining that the big Netflix money was never given all at once. It was based on results over time. No new content means no new payment. And with the polo drama being dropped and Meghan's animated show Pearl being cancelled before it even started, their income has slowed down to almost nothing. At the same time, their spending has not stayed the same. It has grown even bigger. We are talking about a $38 million loss. Take a moment to understand that number. $38 million spent on legal fees, several home loans on a very large Montecito house that costs a lot just to keep running, and a security team that works like a private army. When you are a well-known royal who has cut off all ties with the UK, security is not just a choice. It becomes a very costly need. But here is the biggest turning point. Hollywood is no longer interested in what they are offering. In the beginning, people were very curious. Everyone wanted to hear their story and their complaints. But after the book Spare came out and their 6-part documentary was released, things changed. They reached a limit. You can only tell your family secrets once. After that, you need to create something new. You need to build and produce. And when the industry looks at what they have done so far, the decision is clear. The Sussex name is now seen as risky for big advertisers. Why would a brand like Dior or a major film company connect themselves to a couple that brings constant drama but no clear profit? They would not do it. This is why their financial problem is getting worse. It is a cycle driven by pressure and desperation. They need this expensive lifestyle to keep their brand looking strong, but that same brand is the very thing making it impossible for them to afford that lifestyle. Even more worrying is the truth that the safety net from Diana is now gone. For many years, people believed Harry was safe because of the millions left to him by his mother. But after spending so much on legal fights against the British press and the very high costs of living in California, that safety net is said to have disappeared. They are now living right on the edge of a financial cliff, looking down at a $38 million fall. And as their money continues to run out, they start blaming each other. When the money disappears, love often fades away too. The reason their situation cannot be fixed is not only because they are different people. It is also because of the heavy pressure from a failing business empire that was supposed to protect them. But even though the money problems are serious, the mental and emotional gap between their two worlds is even bigger. While Harry is trying to find a way to save his honor, Meghan is trying to find a way to stay in the spotlight. This basic difference is creating a gap that no amount of money can ever fix. The phrase, irreconcilable differences, is often used in Hollywood divorces as a simple legal term. It is usually just a polite way of saying that two people cannot get along anymore. But for Harry and Meghan, these words mean much more. They are like the design plan of a broken house split into two parts. To understand why this marriage has truly reached its end, we must look beyond their money problems and focus on their very different goals, which have pulled them into completely separate paths. On one side, there is Prince Harry. He is a man who spent 36 years living inside one of the strictest systems in the world. When he moved to California, his dream was not to become a big media boss or a social media trend. His dream was to live a peaceful life, the kind he believed his mother always wanted. People close to him describe a man who now misses his old life more and more. He wants to play polo, take part in meaningful charity work for veterans through Invictus, and most of all, stay away from the constant attention of photographers. Harry's dream was to be free from the spotlight. But on the other side of their Montecito home, there is Meghan Markle. For her, California was not a place to rest. It was a place to start something big. She did not leave the United Kingdom to live a quiet life as a simple mother in Santa Barbara. She left to become a powerful global figure, someone like Oprah Winfrey or Martha Stewart. Her goals are driven by attention and fame. She wants to walk on red carpets, work with top fashion brands, and gain influence in politics, all of which require her to always be seen. This is the main problem between them. You cannot live a quiet private life and also run a global lifestyle brand at the same time. One person is trying to close the door to the world, while the other is trying to pull that door wide open. Now the industry is starting to see the results of this clash. Take the Polo Show project as an example. Harry wanted it to be honest and real, showing the sport he loves in a true way. But Meghan's brand needed it to look shiny, commercial, and focused on their celebrity image. When two people have such different ideas about their own lives, their projects stop moving forward. This is why their work has slowed down so much. They are not only having problems with Netflix. They are also disagreeing with each other about what they want to be. But there is an even deeper reason behind this mental divide. Harry is a royal who has left his place. He still carries the weight of a long history, even if he does not always like it. He values loyalty and privacy more than anything else. Meghan, on the other hand, is part of the Hollywood social world. She knows that in today's world, if people do not see you, they forget about you. To Meghan, Harry's wish for privacy may seem like he has no big goals. To Harry, Meghan's wish for fame may look like the same thing that led to his mother's suffering. As the pressure from their financial problems grows, these different goals have turned from quiet disagreements into a loud and serious crisis. Inside their $18 million home, the silence between them is said to feel very heavy. They are no longer a strong couple moving forward together. Instead, they are two people standing back to back, each looking in a different direction. Harry is looking back toward the United Kingdom, maybe wondering if he can fix things, find forgiveness, and get back the safety and respect he once had. Meghan is looking ahead to her next move, her next big change, and her next project, like American Riviera Orchard, hoping it will finally succeed. But a ship cannot move in two different directions at the same time. Their brand depended on them standing together, showing a united front against the world. But now that the world is no longer chasing them, they are starting to see the truth. They are not running together anymore. They are running away from each other. The real tragedy is not that they failed to take over Hollywood. The real tragedy is that while trying, they realized they never wanted the same kind of success in the first place. In the world of high-level public relations, there is nothing more risky than a former friend who knows all your secrets. For many years, the Sussexes had strong protection from the American media. And the person leading that protection was Dan Wakeford. As the former editor of People magazine and later Us Weekly, Wakeford was not just a simple reporter. He was a key part of their strategy. He was the person behind the well-known 5 Friends cover story, which helped defend Meghan Markle against the British press. He was the one who shaped the story that presented them as victims, a story that worked very well with the American audience. But now, everything has changed. The man who once strongly supported them has now completely changed his position. And in the media world, when someone like Wakeford stops protecting you and starts exposing you, it usually means the end is near. This is not just a simple update in a gossip column. This is a careful and clear betrayal by a former ally, and it shows that their media protection has fully broken down. Wakeford spent 3 weeks closely studying the Sussex world. He spoke to the same insiders he once helped protect. What he found was not a strong and growing brand, but a serious career crisis that can no longer be fixed. When a person like Wakeford uses words like career crisis, he is sending a message to other editors in New York and studio leaders in Los Angeles that the Sussexes are no longer protected. They are now open to criticism from everyone. Why is this betrayal so important? Because Wakeford understands exactly how their fame works. He explained that in today's Hollywood, the Sussex name does not add value to projects anymore. Instead, it reduces value. Think about that. They have gone from being top-level stars to being seen as a risky brand. Wakeford's report confirms that people inside the industry now see working with Harry and Meghan as a problem. The Sussex halo has turned into a Sussex shadow. Any project connected to them gets slowed down by their personal problems, legal fights, and the constant negative attention around them. This betrayal feels so strong because it reveals the truth behind their public image. For 3 years, Harry and Meghan controlled their story through carefully chosen leaks and exclusive interviews. But now Wakeford is showing the raw truth. He is talking about the $38 million debt. He is talking about how unhappy their marriage is. He is talking about the Polo project, which is not just delayed but completely stuck. When someone who once supported you starts saying your business plan is broken, it means the situation is very serious. Wakeford's change sends a clear message to royal watchers and the global media. The Sussexes no longer control their story. They cannot stop negative news or fill the front pages with positive stories like before. But we should look even deeper. Why did Wakeford change sides? In the media world, loyalty only lasts as long as the person is still popular and profitable. This betrayal is a sign of a bigger issue. The public has grown tired. People are no longer interested. They are bored of the same complaints, the same lawsuits, and the same poor me story coming from a large home in Montecito. Wakeford is someone whose job depends on understanding what people want. He saw that the audience had moved on. To stay important himself, he had to stop defending them and start criticizing them. This is a worst-case situation for Meghan Markle, who has spent her life carefully controlling how people see her. Having your most trusted media supporter turn against you is a very deep emotional hit. It creates fear and doubt within their close circle. If Wakeford is speaking out, who else might do the same? If someone from People magazine has left them, could Vogue be next? Could Netflix also be thinking about leaving? This kind of betrayal is like the first crack in a dam. Once the water starts coming through, it cannot be stopped. It opens them up to strong public attention, the kind they have not faced since stepping back from royal duties. Without Wakeford helping to improve their image, the problems in their marriage and their finances are now clearly visible to everyone. Without the soft and positive media view they once depended on, their protection is gone. The situation has changed from defense to attack, and the focus is now directly on the heart of the Sussex brand. For many years, people around the world believed one comforting idea. No matter what Prince Harry did, he would always be safe. Why? Because of the financial protection left to him by Princess Diana. We believed that the millions of pounds left to him by the late Princess of Wales worked like a strong and unbreakable wall, a special gift that made sure he would never truly feel the pain of losing all his money. But today, that belief has been completely broken. The idea of the Diana inheritance is the most painful part of the Sussex downfall because it marks the moment Harry used up his final link to his mother's protection. Let us look at the numbers in a clear and honest way. When Princess Diana sadly passed away, she left her sons not only titles but also money. After taxes and many years of careful investing by royal managers, Harry's share was believed to be around £10 million, or about $13 million. For an average person, that amount means a life of comfort. But for a man trying to live like a royal in Montecito, California, without support from royal funds, it is a very small amount. Dan Wakeford's investigation has revealed a shocking truth. That money is now mostly gone. Think about how heavy that truth feels. For Harry, that money was not just something to spend. It was like his mother's last gift to him. It was the emergency fund he could depend on when things went wrong. It was what gave him the confidence to leave the royal family in the first place. He once told Oprah Winfrey, "I've got what my mom left me, and without that, we would not have been able to do this." But living this new life in America came with costs that he clearly did not fully understand. When you add up an $18 million house with a large loan, a security team that costs about $3 million every year, and many legal fights against the British press that have cost millions, that $13 million can disappear very quickly. The $38 million loss we talked about is not just a business problem. It is a personal disaster. It means the Diana safety net has not just been used, it has been completely torn apart. This is where the problems with their brand and their spending come together in a very painful way. Imagine the pressure Harry must be feeling. He grew up believing that money would always be available through the royal system and the state. Now he is living in a private world where the only money he had left from his family has been spent on public relations teams, lawyers, and a lifestyle made to keep Meghan Markle among Hollywood's top stars. The idea that their marriage cannot be fixed becomes even darker here. Reports say Harry is deeply troubled by losing this safety net. He sees the empty bank accounts as a failure to protect his mother's legacy. He is said to be very unhappy because he has realized that the freedom he gained by using his mother's money has led him into a different kind of trap, one based on money problems. While Meghan continues to focus on finding the next big deal to bring in more money, Harry is left thinking about the money he lost and wondering how it all slipped away so quickly. There is a sad irony in this situation. Harry moved to America to protect his family in a way he felt his father could not protect his mother. But by doing this, he has used up the very money his mother left to help keep him safe. When the next security bills arrive, he can no longer depend on that inheritance. He now depends completely on the Sussex brand, a brand that, as we have seen, is now viewed in a negative way by the same industry they need for income. The idea that royal wealth lasts forever is no longer true. We are now seeing, for the first time in modern history, a senior member of the British royal family facing the real risk of running out of money, at least by California standards. The money from Diana was meant to protect him, but instead, he used it to fight battles he could not win. Now that this protection is gone, Harry's weakness is clear for everyone to see. He is not just a prince living away from home. He is a man who has spent his mother's gift chasing a dream that is slowly turning into something very difficult and painful. As the pressure from money problems grows stronger, the different goals we talked about earlier are now turning into a fight for survival. If there is no more money from Diana to support their life in Montecito, what will happen next? Will their marriage survive if their wealth disappears? Or was that financial safety the only thing keeping their life together during the challenges of Hollywood? The answer is becoming more clear with each passing day. And it takes us inside the quiet, cold rooms of their California home, where the distance from Hollywood is starting to feel more permanent than ever. In Hollywood, people often say you are only as successful as your last big project. But for Harry and Meghan, powerful people in the industry are now starting to say something even more harmful. You are only as strong as the audience you do not push away. Welcome to the Hollywood cold shoulder. It is a deep freeze so strong that it has turned the once shining Sussex brand into a warning story for every major studio in Los Angeles. When the couple first arrived in California, they were seen as the biggest prize. Every executive wanted to work with them. Netflix and Spotify did not sign them only for their creative ideas. They signed them for the halo effect, the honor of being linked to modern royalty. But now, as Dan Wakeford's shocking report confirms, that halo has lost its shine. In the high-pressure world of streaming and content creation, Harry and Meghan have changed from global stars into risky partners for production. Let us look at the Polo Project. It was meant to be Harry's big return to the screen, showing a real and honest look behind the scenes of the sport he loves. On paper, it sounds like a high-quality documentary. In reality, sources say it may never be released at all.
Why?
Because the way a Sussex project is created is deeply flawed. People inside the industry say their name now hurts a project instead of helping it. When a studio connects a famous name to a show or movie, they want that name to bring more viewers. They do not want that name to bring negative attention that scares advertisers away. But the Sussex name now brings the problems first and the viewers second. Any project linked to them quickly faces strong criticism and negative publicity. Advertisers do not want to get involved in their ongoing royal drama, and streaming companies are starting to see that their audience is divided. In Hollywood, being divided is just a softer way of saying it does not make money. Think about what happened with Spotify. It was not just a simple disagreement about content. It became a very public damage to their professional image. When a senior executive from one of the world's biggest audio companies calls you grifters in front of the world, the cold shoulder turns into a permanent freeze. That single comment sent a message to every other company that the Sussexes are hard to work with, produce very little, and expect too much. Meghan's animated show, Pearl, was cancelled before it was even completed. The Polo Project is stuck and not moving forward. Their Netflix deal is getting close to ending, and they have very little to show for it except one documentary filled with complaints. Hollywood is a place that always looks for the next big success, and right now, Harry and Meghan are starting to look like old news. The idea that their situation cannot be fixed is very clear here. Meghan is trying hard to return to her original path with American Riviera Orchard, a lifestyle brand meant to compete with names like Gwyneth Paltrow. But people in Hollywood are not convinced. To build a strong lifestyle brand, people need to admire and want your way of living. But with reports of a $38 million loss and a very unhappy marriage, their lifestyle no longer looks like a dream. It looks like a warning. There is also the issue of social distance. In the beginning, they were often seen with top celebrities. Now, there is a strong silence from Hollywood's biggest stars. At major award shows and exclusive Oscar parties, the Sussexes are noticeably missing.
Why?
Because in Hollywood, who you are seen with matters a lot. If you are connected to a risky or negative brand, it can harm your own image. The most powerful people in Los Angeles now understand that Harry and Meghan no longer have the support of the royal family, and they also do not have enough strong content to balance the drama around them. This cold shoulder is not only about business. It is also about losing the feeling of being untouchable. When they left the United Kingdom, they believed they were the ones turning away from the palace. They believed they were bigger than it. But now they are learning that in Hollywood, no one is too important to be ignored. As their projects slow down and invitations stop arriving, their different goals are turning into a desperate effort to stay relevant. Meghan still wants attention and fame, but the spotlight is now moving toward newer and less complicated stars. Harry wants respect, but in America, respect is earned through hard work, not by birth. As they sit inside their Montecito home and watch their $38 million loss grow larger, they are facing one of the most frightening truths in the entertainment world. They are becoming irrelevant. And in Hollywood, being disliked is still acceptable, but being ignored is what truly ends a career. The freeze has begun, doors are closing, and the Sussexes now find themselves on the outside, looking in, with no remaining safety net from Diana to catch them. The proof is no longer just based on guesses. It is based on real facts and clear numbers. When you take away the $100 million stories and add the $38 million reality, the numbers of the Sussex marriage simply do not match. We are watching the final stage of a brand that tried to sell the idea of royal victimhood to a country that values hard work and success in Hollywood. The conclusion is clear. The Sussex era as a strong and united power couple has officially come to an end. They are no longer standing side by side against the world. Now, they are struggling on their own just to survive. But as their money problems continue to grow and their influence fades, a new and surprising situation is starting to appear. People close to the Duke say that Prince Harry is no longer trying to fix his life in California. Instead, he is quietly getting ready for what insiders are calling Operation Redemption. While Meghan continues to focus strongly on her lifestyle brand, Harry is said to be reaching out to old contacts back in London. He is looking for a third option, a path that could allow him to return in a semi-official role. This could begin with his work on the Invictus Games, but without the weight and image of the Sussex brand connected to it. This is the biggest open question in the story. Is Harry getting ready to leave behind this difficult chapter and go back to the only place where he once felt truly safe? If the money from Diana is gone and the doors in Hollywood are closing, then the son who once left may have no other option but to find a way back home. But would the king, and more importantly the British people, ever accept him again? The gap between Harry and Meghan is not just about a broken relationship. It is about two completely different worlds separating. One is still chasing a future filled with fame and glamour in Los Angeles. The other is stuck thinking about a past connected to duty and history in Windsor. They are both standing at the edge of a $38 million drop, and the only question that remains is who will make the first move. Now it is your turn to share your opinion. Is Prince Harry's Operation Redemption a smart and wise decision, or is it a desperate step from someone who feels he has lost everything? Can he ever be forgiven? Or has he damaged too many relationships to ever return? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I read every comment, and this discussion is only just beginning. If you want honest and clear updates about what happens next in the story, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. You will not want to miss what comes next.